Picture this. You're having a really quiet and relaxing evening. You're kicking back, resting on your comfy couch and watching your favorite show on TV. Suddenly, you hear loud knocking at your front door. You do not think much of it at first. You figure it is probably just your close buddy from down the street coming over to say hello. So you stand up, walk right over to the door and pull it open. Standing right there in front of you are two detectives in plain clothes, and they are staring directly at you. They give you a little smile, and they are even very polite to you. But then, one of them looks you in the eye and asks you the 7 most dangerous words in our language. They say, "We just want to talk to you." Now, let me tell you what happens next in this situation. If you do what almost every single person does, you are going to hand the police every single thing they need to point a finger at you. You might even give them what they need to ruin your whole life. And the truly scary thing is that you're going to do it with a big smile on your face because you think you're being a helpful and good citizen. But we are a group of caring experts, and we are not going to let that happen to you. In this guide, I'm going to give you the specific words you need to say. I will share the exact phrase that stops police officers in their tracks, protects your important rights, and helps get them off your front porch safely. I will also show you exactly why these words work so well. We will look at real stories where people's lives were ruined simply because they did not know the information I'm about to share with you right now. Here is something that most folks just do not understand. When a police officer says, "I just want to talk," that is actually not a friendly or casual chat between neighbors. It is a special way of asking questions that they have been trained to use. It is a technique. It is designed to do one specific thing. It makes you feel like you're not in trouble. It makes you feel like you're just a witness who saw something happen. The very second you believe you're not the person they are suspicious of, you let your guard down. You stop being careful. And that is exactly when you start talking way too much. Once you start talking and the words leave your mouth, you can never take them back. They are out there forever. Think about it for a minute. 2 detectives do not just show up at your front house because they have nothing better to do or because they are bored. They are there because they are working hard to build a legal case against someone. And they are standing on your porch because they think you might have had something to do with the problem. Even if they tell you that they are only looking for people who saw what happened, a witness can turn into a suspect very fast. All it takes is you deciding to open your mouth. Never, ever forget that opening your mouth only gives the police a chance to gather enough little bits of information to form an opinion. They use those bits to decide that you were involved. The simple reality of the situation is this. The police either have enough proof to get a special paper from a judge to search or arrest you, or they have no proof at all. And that is exactly why they need you to start talking. Your words are often the very last missing piece of the puzzle they are trying to solve. But here's the part that should make you feel a bit upset. Police officers are actually allowed by the law to tell you things that are not true. A long time ago, the highest court in the land said this was okay in a case called Fraser versus Cupp. They can look you in the eyes and tell you they have proof that does not even exist. They can tell you that your best friend already told them everything, and that if you do not tell your side of the story right now, they will have no choice but to blame everything on you. None of this has to be the truth, but they will tell you these things with a very serious face just to get you to speak. So when that detective shows up at your home and says those words, "We just want to talk," what he is really saying is something different. He is really saying, "I do not have enough proof to legally do anything to you yet, but I want you to start talking so you can give me the missing pieces I need to get you in trouble." That is the game they play. And they are counting on the fact that you do not know the rules of that game. But here's the part that is truly frightening. You do not even have to be a person who did something wrong for this to totally ruin your life. A group of caring experts called the Innocence Project has shown that almost 30% of all cases where the wrong person was sent to jail came from confessions that were not even true. That is nearly 1 out of every 3 people. And do you know how most of those situations started? They did not start in a dark room with bright lights and handcuffs. They almost all started with a simple, "Hey, we just want to talk to you for a minute." Maybe you answer just a few small questions. Maybe you think you are being helpful. You might think that if you just explain the facts and show them you were not involved, the police will just say thank you and leave you alone. But that is almost never what happens. What really happens is that your words get twisted around. They get taken out of context, like a game of telephone gone wrong. If you take a nervous pause because you are worried, they might say that is proof you are lying. If your memory is a little fuzzy because you are panicking, they will say that tiny mistake is proof that you are guilty. Before you even realize what is happening, that same polite detective who said he just wanted to talk is suddenly reading you your rights and putting heavy metal handcuffs on your wrists. And here is the thing about those rights that almost nobody understands. The police only have to read you your rights when you are officially being held and cannot leave. So during that friendly chat on your front porch, you're technically not being held yet. That means the police do not have to read you those rights at all. This means every single word you say can be used against you later in a courtroom. This is not a mistake. It is all part of the plan. This is exactly why I'm going to give you the exact words to say right now. Once you hear how simple they are, you will see how much power they give you. But first, let me make sure you understand why what I'm telling you is so very powerful. You have a special protection in the laws of our country that says you do not have to talk to the police. It is a very old rule called the Fifth Amendment. You have probably heard it 1,000 times before. It says you have the right to stay silent. But here is where people get confused. They think that right only starts working after they have been arrested and taken away. That is not true. This protection stays with you at all times. It is with you on your front porch. It is with you on your driveway. It is with you at your job or while you're just walking down the street. You never ever have a duty to answer a police officer's questions under any circumstances. Not ever. Period. But just like in our previous conversation about traffic stops, choosing to just be quiet is not always enough on its own. If you just slam the door in the officer's face, or if you are mean or acting angry, this is what he is going to write down in his little notebook. He will write that you were not helpful and that you were trying to hide something. He will say that based on his training, your behavior makes you look like you did something wrong. And if your case ever went to a trial, a jury of people would hear that and think you were hiding a secret. Instead of being mean, you need to be very firm but also very polite at the exact same time. You need to use these exact words. Please try to memorize them right now. You should say, I do not answer questions without my lawyer friend present. Am I being held here or am I free to go? That is it. That is the only thing you ever have to say to them. Now, let me explain why every little piece of that sentence works so well. When you say, I do not answer questions, you're using your special protection to stay silent. You're saying it clearly, so there's no confusion. The courts have said you must be very clear about this. If you are not clear, they might try to use your silence against you. When you say, without my lawyer friend present, you are using another special rule called the Sixth Amendment. This is your right to have help from a legal expert. Once you have asked for a lawyer, the law says that all questioning must stop right then and there. Period. If they keep asking you things after you have asked for a lawyer, anything they get from you would be thrown out of court and cannot be used. Finally, when you ask, am I being held here or am I free to go? You are asking the golden question. This forces that detective to make a very big choice. You're either free to walk away, which means you can go back inside and close your door, or they are holding you. If they are holding you, they have to be able to explain exactly why to a judge later. They have to come up with a real reason to justify stopping you. And here's a part most people forget when they are scared. If the police are at your front door just knocking, they cannot just walk into your house to look around. They can only do that if you say it is okay, or if they have a special paper signed by a judge called a warrant. This is another protection called the Fourth Amendment. They can sit there and knock all day if they want to. This is often called a knock and talk. But honestly, you do not have any duty to even answer that door in the first place. You can stay inside and keep watching your TV. But not only do you not have to open the door, you have zero duty to answer their questions, even if you do open it. And you certainly have no duty to ever let them inside your home. You can close the door gently, you can tell them to leave your property, or you can just stay quiet. There is really no reason to ever open your door to them, but you might ask, what if they try to push me? I say this because you can be sure they will try to make you feel bad. They might say things like, if you have nothing to hide, why won't you just talk to us for a second? Or they might say, this will go much easier for you if you just choose to help us out. If they say things like that, here's the backup sentence for you to use. Just say, I'm using my rights given to me by the law. Those words are very strong. Why? Because the highest court has said that using your rights can never be used to show that you are guilty of anything. I do not care how upset or frustrated those detectives get. I do not care how many times they tell you that this is your only chance to tell your side of the story. Your side of the story should always be told by a lawyer friend. That way your words can never be twisted or changed by the police. Oh, and one more thing. If they actually do have a special paper from a judge, they do not have to ask to come inside. They can just come in. However, if they tell you they have that paper, they have a duty to show it to you so you can see it is real. Even if the paper is real and they go inside to search, you still do not answer their questions. They can look around because of the paper, but you can still stay silent and not say a single word until your lawyer friend is there with you. Now here is why those specific words matter so much to your life. The skills I just shared, understanding the trap, knowing your rights, and having the exact words ready, are the same tools you should use anytime you deal with the police. But what if instead of the police showing up at your house, they pull you over while you're driving your car? What if they walk up and tell you to step out of the car? You should look into our other guides, where we explain what to do in those moments. If an officer tells you to get out of the vehicle, there are other words you can use to stay safe and protect yourself. We hope this helps you feel more prepared and peaceful. We will see you in the next guide.